I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to The Resistance. This has been the most frustrating video I've made to date. I tried to do it outside, but it got super cold and I ran out of daylight. Then I've recorded several good takes, only to find that my microphone had died. So here we go again. I want to start with a quote, one of my favorite quotes. "This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. Nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive and prosper. So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance." FDR in his 1933 inaugural address. Almost 100 years later, I think we really need to hear those words again, if not the exact words, then something very close. When Roosevelt said that, he was speaking to people in the midst of the Great Depression. They were afraid of starving. They were afraid of getting sick. They were afraid they were going to lose their homes. One thing they didn't fear was the president and the people who supported him. Hundreds of thousands of people showed up on February 5th, 2025 for the 50-51 protests. The idea being 50 protests in 50 states all on one day. And they showed up in every state capital. They showed up in most, if not all, the major cities, and they showed up in small towns all across this country. In my town, they also showed up on February 17th for the Not My President's Day protest against Muskrat and all the illegal things that he's doing on behalf of Felon 47. We had over 60 people down here the other day. And I got to tell you, I haven't seen 60 people show up for a common cause around here unless it was to watch their kids in a school function. It was kind of hopeful, inspiring. But the bad news is there could have been and there should have been more people. How did Roosevelt put it? Too many Americans are allowing nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror to paralyze them. They are retreating instead of advancing. They are obeying in advance. And not just in my county or my town, but all across this country. Through personal contacts, conversations, or messages in my videos, I know that there are people who didn't want to show up because they were afraid. I spoke with one woman who said that her husband didn't want her to be there because he was afraid that some right-wing freak would show up and do something stupid. I've had people tell me in my comments, I've received letters imploring me to be careful because they think that what I do in these videos is putting a target on my back. I'm not afraid. Because just like in 1993, and I'm going to quote Roosevelt again, while I'm going to paraphrase him, we don't need to shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. Indeed, we need to be acutely aware of what is going on and the danger that our democracy faces. But just like in 1993, we will endure and we will prosper. We will revive our democracy. That's why my response to those people who say to me they don't want to participate because of fear, I say to them simply, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. Now is not the time to fear things that may happen, especially when the thing that you're fearing hasn't been happening. Now is the time to reflect upon the fact that fear is the greatest tool of fascism. It's a tool that takes no effort to use, and it only works when we put in the work to embrace it. There's going to be a lot of protests in the coming days, weeks, months, years. And we need to embrace these opportunities to show the tyrant that you don't fear tyrannical behavior. We need to be the example for our friends, our neighbors, and most importantly for the children of this country. When the people show up and stand without fear, then fear becomes the weapon of the people. Because there's nothing a tyrant fears more than a people who are not afraid. This is how we win against fascism. It's also, in my opinion, how we inspire the leader who is waiting and watching and wondering if we, the people, are ready. That person is out there. He or she may not know it yet, but they're unwittingly watching and waiting to be convinced that we are strong enough and willing enough to fight for our future. And when we show that we are, that's when that leader will emerge. Good day.